very important that you go and visit. It's like being in a Zara in Islam. Okay, very good, very good. That's good. How did you feel after coming versus before? Did you feel that there's some reality check out there? It's different, right? So if you go there and interact with the people a little bit, it will be different, and that's the market research. So you need to do some research, and also you need to talk to a lot of people that work with such slums in reality. Yani the lady who come here after me is very important to you because she's working in the slum and she has been successful there and she's working on education. So talking to her is by itself an incredible advantage that you can never find in other places. So this is, you are at the high edge, so you are more real. So she will tell you a lot of information, so she will guide you what to do there. Avoid doing this. So when you go and visit, you're not going to go to the slum every day. Probably you'll visit a couple of times. When you go and visit, you will go and have the few hours you go there are effective to the point when الواحد يبقى تايه وخايف حد يعملهم يعني. It's not, أنا عارف أني من حاجة زي كده بس it's a lot of fun if you go there and you know what to do. بصراحة education أسهل بكتير من food والhealth بالذات يعني. السنة اللي فاتت كان صعب. You need to know what problems they have. هتقعدوا تقولوا عندكم problems إيه؟ مش سهلة قوي. بس generally speaking this is quite important to have a live thing and try it and give it potential. We're going to evaluate you based on the potential of the idea to be a breakthrough, potential impact, how many people are going to be impacted, on what way does it really solve the problem in a big way, and how the business model is sustainable so it can relate to and can stay forever or can be repeated in other places. Okay. Visits to the slum are critical. Somebody asked me before the presentation here about partnerships. Yes, partnerships are quite interesting. I did not write it after you came. Okay, so partnerships are important. Sometimes you can partner with this company, with the NGO that's coming here. Sometimes maybe you can partner with a group that works with the slums in general. Maybe you can consider NGOs and see which NGOs in Egypt are working on similar projects and could help. And again, don't always think about a partner that is going to do everything with you. You actually look for a partner that will add an incremental part that is very specialized in your solution. So if one partner is not there, you can still live without it because you have the whole business model well implemented. But doing everything by yourself sometimes is not very effective. I'm not recommending that you must have a partner, but I'm just giving you the idea that partnership is quite important. When you have a partnership, you have to prove to me that there is a win-win between you and them. So what is it for them? You cannot go to one and say, no, we're going to partner with that company. No, if you are going to partner with someone, you better go in the presentation, at least in March, saying we did partner with that. We talked to them and we agreed that there is a great potential for doing it. And this is the win-win, or this is the deal that we'll have. So each one of us, what's the contribution? What is it for me? What is it for them? See? So you have to prove that this is strong in order to justify it. So if I think about the presentation again, I would start with an executive summary. The executive summary would be a 1 minute. The 1 minute will be a little slide showing the basics of the idea, maybe showing some of an output or a video or whatever, but it gives the life on what the idea is and what's the impact of this idea, so that you tell me in the first minute or two a clear view about what you're going to do, what you are proposing, and whether this proposal is going to be sustainable or not, why is the business model working, very briefly, and then what's the impact of this solution of your idea on the slum. So you have objectives. The objectives include what? They include number of target market being affected, the potential scalability of the project in several countries and so on. And also, if there is anything that is quantified, you can include as a KPI, key performance indicator. So in the executive summary, I would start with, I would say, this is the idea. I would show a lot of details about the idea. Maybe I would start with Saadiyya or whatever الفيديو اللي احنا هنوريه, something live that will show, and something shows that the basic concept of your solution, and then a brief about the sustainability or the business model without details, and then the impact of your solution is going to be 1 to 3. If I start like this, the first 2 minutes, I really gave them the solution, as if it is a 2-minute pitch. But after that, let me explain to you the idea more. So let me show you the idea. This is how it works. That's why it works. We tried it here and this, and it worked very well, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm convincing the people for the coming 1 to 2 minutes that this idea is really the innovative idea that will break through, that will be a breakthrough. And then let's see how to implement this and how to make it sustainable. So this is the business model, this is how it will work. Sometimes you can do a very nice animated presentation where you describe exactly the process of how it works. في ناس بتعملها كرتون ستايل، في ناس بتعملها على باوربوينت، في ناس بتحط انيميشن جوه الباوربوينت ظريف، but something that will show how the process works, so we know how the implementation is going to be, and then we have to show some numbers or some related to revenues and costs to ensure that the model is going to have a sustainable path afterwards, even if it requires a little investment at the beginning. And then after that, if scalability is so clear, you don't have to repeat it, but you can say that this model will have an impact on X. It will start in Egypt, but we can replicate it in these countries. في ناس بتحب تحط كليشيه سلايد بس ساعات بتبقى حلوه، يحطوا خريطه العالم ويحطوا فيها نقط حمراء كده. ممكن اعمل حاجه مش لازم، بس ممكن اعمل حاجه زي كده. بس basically it shows that you want to start with this and then you can move to other places, and you can say that we'll start here, but we'll move in 3 slums there in 2015, and then we'll go there east to spread this idea within this part in 2016-17, and then we'll spread in that area, and then we'll move to the other area in phase 3, and we believe within the first 5 years we'll reach 10% of the slums and have an impact of X, and the model is going to be whatever. Okay, you see something like that. So this, now I moved from the business model to the scalability option, and then after I proved all this, I can wrap up the solution at the end by saying, now let's summarize. This is our solution. The solution is like this, and we believe that this solution will be done this way and will reach this impact by the end of the 5th year. So therefore, we believe that this solution is the best solution to be applied to solve that problem. So this is how it works. But again, the life. ساعات احنا ممكن نعمل الفيديو الاولاني الفيديو مثلا على سعديه واخواتها، نوري المكان نفسه to show the problem and show what the issue that you are going to tackle, and then you can also have another video when you describe the solution in an extreme manner to show how it works exactly, or if this solution can be described and shown physically, you can do it. يعني عندنا جهاز معين، عندنا حاجه something that happened, but of course if you have applied this solution on the slum and you have a video about it, it's much stronger. Okay, so this is the flow of the presentation in my view that will work very well. But I'm repeating again, you might be more creative than I am, so you might come up with a better way to present it, as long as you deliver to us the following, to them, not us, the following. Number 1 is the idea is clear, the idea is innovative, the idea has a strong impact, the business model is clear and sustainable, financially and operationally, and the business model is scalable, and you have tried it, so you can prove to me that this is something not on paper, but something that works, whether through a prototype, whether through a video, whether through something. So now I will be confident that this is something that works. Okay? So this is how the presentation is expected to be. So how to prepare for the competition, this is something I would like to talk to you about. So I would like you to watch all the presentations. I will show you one today, but generally speaking, I was not good enough yesterday to grab many of them. So if you have watched any of the videos, that would be great. If you watch more, that would be better. Visit the slums, you have to do that immediately before December 6th, and maybe take some videos, some pictures, some stuff, as much as you can. But again, you might be doing this more after you win, or you don't win, but you decide to go there hopefully and represent the university. Search for the hit idea. So the hit idea is very important. So you come up with a very nice idea, that's good, but I want the idea to be justified. So justifying the idea means that I talk to experts. فدايما بنعمل ايه؟ This company has applied it before. This is what you mentioned earlier, that's very good. I talked to this expert in education, and this is what we said, and maybe a video about it, or maybe a quote, what this person exactly said. So if you tell me that this is the problem, and this idea is a breakthrough, and will turn people around, I need any justification or benchmark or a proof or something that was done in another country, in another place, that was done in another context. So showing this, so I encourage you to interview experts. Interview experts in education, interview the expert that will come today, right? Talk to people. The more you talk to people, you know better. By the way, after you finish this, you will be knowledgeable about the topic much more than I am, right? So I'll be learning. Actually, I love to listen to such presentations because I learn a lot. Because you are doing an intensive research. None of us as judges, nor the judges in hult, know what you will be knowing by that time. And that's why this competition is great, because it educates you to know things in real, not just concepts that are in the books. Okay. So interviewing experts is critical. Consider potential partners. So if you know that this partner might be a good one, or a generic list of partners could be useful in my business model, I would rather talk to them. Okay, I know that this NGO is great. I need to talk to them and see if there is this win-win situation is a possibility, or it's in my books looking good, but in reality when I talk to them it's out. Maybe if I go and talk to them, I find that I expected 1 to 3, but it can still work, but using 4, 5, 6, right? So again, get real as much as possible. And applies the social enterprise concept for sustainability and scalability. Make sure that on paper, على فكرة أنا لما باجي أحسب بزنس موديل وريفينيو سورسز والكلام ده، الحسابات الإكسل والكلام ده جميلة وحلوة. طبعا في ناس هنا عارفة كتير قد إيه أنا بحب إكسل، إحنا عايشين فيها على طول. هم مستنيين ريزلتس بتاع الكومبيتيشن بتاع السيميوليشن بعد شويه. بس basically it's not about that now. It's about rough calculation. So what I do always when I have a business model is ناخد ورقه بيضاء كده صغيره ونشخبط عليها 4 5 ارقام. هيجي لي ريفينيو قد ايه؟ هيجي لي منين؟ ففي الاخر كذا. احنا كلها بتبقى شخبطه صغيره. Turning this into a more scientific thing is good. It might take few hours. That's fine. بس few hours دول تنظيف. إنما if I do roughly and I find that it's not sustainable, I would not exert effort to detail it. واضح جدا إن ده هيجيب لي 100 ولا الكوست بتاعي 500. So it's not working. I do not need to exert an effort to prove that the 100 is 105 or 500 is 495, right? Still, it's not working. So I need to find the equation that would tell me that this is sustainable. And by the way, this equation is what is going to be presented. Because I'm not sure that you're going to present the extreme details of a business model. You might have it in a backup slide. It's nice to have it, but it's not going to be your breakthrough, because it's going to be based on assumptions anyway. So I highly recommend that you consider roughly working on that. If you need guidance and help, احنا موجودين. طبعا ممكن مش موجودين طول الوقت, بس try to see any professor who can help you with that. Work together. This is a learning experience, not just a competition. وخبي حاجتك. No, it doesn't work this way. You try to learn through the process. So if you're struggling with something specific, that would be nice. Don't expect any of us to help you with an idea. But you can expect any of us, if we have the time, to check with you something very specific that you are struggling with, and we'll happily do that. مش هنقول حد وحد تاني. You are asking a question that is smart, and I'm not influencing your overall performance, that's fine. It's your right to ask. We want you to all perform great in the presentation. All right, so for the internal competition, we are expecting the sound and innovative idea to be solid, very solid, proven. We expect you to have visited the slums and got us facts. We expect you to have a clear business model, not necessarily the final business model that will be presented there. But if you do not prove to me this rough calculation and prove to me that it's sustainable, it means that your business model is flawed. If we find that it has potential, maybe yes, but at least I want to have something good in there, and we have to have a good attempt for its scalability and sustainability. Again, attempt does not mean that you are at the highest end, but the sky is the limit. If you say كفاية كده, ممكن تيم تاني ما يبقاش كفاية, صح؟ So it's competitive. You're going to take the winner, and that's one team. So therefore, we hope that you reach the maximum possible. But I'm going to look what are our expectations. The expectations from us for the winning team to go to hult regional in March are very high. We expect maybe that by December you can be as high or slightly lower, and through coaching we will push you from level 8 to level 10 by refining the presentation, refining the content, maybe going and get more live and more partnership details, and that's what we will do, and we have plenty of time to do that in a proper way. But I just want to make sure that you understand what's expected. If the idea is out, you are out. Okay? Without a good, innovative idea that is proven and justified, احنا هنبني عليه. هو البيزنس موديل مبني عليه, right? If the ideas are good, you are in, let's go into the business model. If the business model is totally unrealistic or not possible or not available, you are weak. If the business model is fine but needs little refinement, has potential, okay, let's keep it forward, right? So the keywords here: idea, business model, scalability, sustainability, and life. Life. I need life in the presentation and the content. I need visit. I need reality. I do not need a theoretical solution. Okay, so after that, after we finish, hopefully we'll have coaching for the winners. So we're going to refine the idea, refine the model, stress on the scalability and sustainability. This is our role. This is our expertise. We play with that all the time. We can do more prototyping. Again, if you have done some, that would be brilliant. But I think that after you win, you need to go and visit the salon several times. Investing time there and being more real is going to be critical. Again, the effort that you're going to do is taking you from level 8 to level 9 to level 10. So you should be good already. But these things are going to be the minimal things that differentiate a good team from a winning team. So this is what we'll work on together. And of course, updating the presentation. I'm sure you'll do good presentations, but I think we can work with you on making it even better. Okay, so this is what I have for you. I'm done, but let me show you a couple of videos.
Could creepy crawlies help end hunger? When a nonprofit organization teamed up with Bill Clinton's foundation and asked graduate students for their ideas on the global food crisis, bugs were the solution from a team from McGill University.
Sorry, this was not shown. Okay, let's see. I see. Okay. Okay, let's start.
Could creepy crawlies help end hunger? When a nonprofit organization teamed up with Bill Clinton's foundation and asked graduate students for their ideas on the global food crisis, bugs were the solution from a team from McGill University. It was one of 10,000 proposals, but would it fly? Joanna Remelios picks up the story.
Minutes to showtime. The room is buzzing with excitement, crawling with anticipation. This is, after all, a night of big dreams, big ideas, and wait for it, bugs.
But tonight, I ask you to look down at the earth. The answer is at your feet. The answer is insects.
Yep, six-legged beings. These McGill students are making a pitch for the best out-of-the-box idea to help feed the world's hungry. They've got 10 whole minutes to do it. The prize? $1 million to turn their vision into reality.
Compared to the farming of traditional livestock, insects require drastically less land, water, and feed.
They've been honing the pitch for months. The business model: go to poor countries where people eat insects. Give them portable farms, in this case, to grow crickets for themselves and sell the rest for profit. Create a distribution network to make it all happen.
I saw insects going in one door and the cash coming out. I sewed these and sell for me, and we just scale the idea up.
Stomach churning stuff? Maybe. But 2 billion people worldwide eat bugs regularly. McGill's pitch even includes grinding up crickets into flour. And a recent UN report recommends more people get over insect indigestion. As protein sources go, edible bugs may be more sustainable than almost anything else in our diets.
Africa is the fastest urbanizing region.
A new model for small retail.
A solution to food insecurity.
10,000 teams applied to try out for this prize. Only 6 made it this far, and only 1 could win. Former US President Bill Clinton was on hand to announce the winner.
From McGill University, Aspire.
What's the question? The answer is I'm out of words, whatever the question is.
Next up is to get on planes, get on the ground, and start producing insects en masse, as fast as we can.
They're off to develop.
Okay, that was
The project in Mexico, and they just got $1 million to help them do it. Yolanda Villalobos, CBC News, New York.
Okay, let's check this presentation. This is not a winning presentation, so I'm not sure about the quality, but let's see a 7-minute presentation how it works.
Having established the key components of our model, we will now explain its execution on the ground. We propose to send a specialized sales team to targeted rural towns with the objective of establishing relations with key community partners, such as NGOs, schools, local leaders, and medical clinics. Having laid the platform, our team will collaborate with these partners to organize for a seeding meeting, where the local customers will be made aware of the various components of our enterprise. While the seeding meetings are medium to achieve high initial sales, an appointed shop in the marketplace will be set up to sustain long-term sales. The most crucial part of our model is the after-sales support component, as it is our most impactful solution towards addressing the issue of trust. We propose to harness existing electronic and hardware mechanics located.
The Prophet Muhammad was sitting in the company of his companions. To his right were Abu Bakr, Umar, to his left were other companions, and so on. And then
In marketplaces. In fact, we have met with these people, and they are popularly known in Kenya as fundies. We would incentivize these fundies to provide our after-sales support, which would include diagnosing and repair work, providing warranty fixes, and advising customers about common user mistakes. They would also be our eyes and ears for consumer feedback. But establishing trust is sensitive, and we realize that in order to offer the most reliable after-sales support, we need to provide them with product-specific training. In fact, suppliers we have spoken with are willing to cooperate in our proposal by providing these fundies simple 2 to 3 days technical training. Ultimately, we envision a solar A-branded after-sales support hub that could look like this, where our fundies will provide quick, accessible, and reliable support that fosters trust between customers and us. Now, recall, the key metric of our success is to reach 1 million households by the end of 2013. Our model achieves this goal through its simplicity. First, it leverages the shelves and personnel of existing shops in the marketplaces, which would be very cost-effective for Solar Aid. Second, key components, such as suppliers, technology providers, and logistics chains, are already established, and we will be piecing them together in an efficient manner. Consequently, our model is easy to implement and scale our replication. We plan to start in Kenya before launching pilot programs in Tanzania and Uganda. These 3 countries share the advantages of zero custom duty, zero value-added tax, and relatively good logistics infrastructure. Our carefully calculated roadmap takes a conservative approach. In every rural town, there are about 1,000 households. Of these, we expect to reach about 300 households over a period of 1.5 years. We aim to target roughly 16 of these rural towns for every marketplace. Therefore, each marketplace makes 4,800 cells. The business model consists of 3 half-year phases. In the first phase, we target 100 marketplaces in Kenya, with 4,800 products sold in every marketplace. That leads to 160,000 cells within 6 months. Phase 2 extends to Tanzania and Uganda, totaling 480,000 cells. In the third, we extend further across these 3 countries and reach our goal of 1 million. But is it enough to simply sell 1 million? A lot of the times, solar organizations forget about how unique their customers are. It's not just that these people don't know about solar, or that they can't afford it. Their needs go beyond these basic standards. During our visit to a Maasai village in Kenya, we learned that customers use light in multiple ways. While they want solar home system for their households, they also need a portable light when venturing out at night. And yet, none of the suppliers today offer a solar home system that incorporates a portable light. Everyone says that they want to light up Africa and tackle poverty, but they can't keep doing it their way. The customer's insight is valuable, and you must not ignore that. That's why we need to change the status quo. We don't want to use the continent as a dumping ground for our products. Selling and running is not an option anymore. We want to sell 1 million responsibly and nurture the market for the long run. So that the next time, when a customer comes looking for light, I can tell them, get the entire home system that will serve all your needs. Don't worry, you can afford it. And if there's anything else, you can trust that I will be here. Thank you.
Well, there are questions after that. We have the slides, but basically a couple of things. A couple of things to consider. Number one, you have the slides do not include bullet points. I think you should be having more videos, more pictures, more diagrams, stuff like this. Obviously, 10 slides, I expect them to be simple. Simplicity, right? The simplicity. You have seen how they started by this idea, this is what we do. You've seen how they show the scalability. You've seen how to show the target, and then they selected to move this, and this until you reach 1 million, stuff like that. So this is very important and very interesting. I'm not sure that this is the most important solution, but I would expect them to be a winner of a region, أو يعني finalists in a region. طالما العدد ده كله كان موجود، ده معناه إن probably these won their group and they went and qualified for the top in a certain region. Whether they won the region or not, that's another story, but at least they are among the top players. So this was not a bad example. What else have you observed in that? Only one person presented, not necessarily everybody. It's nicer to have more than one, but not necessarily the 5 have to present. It's 7-8 minutes. I would say 2 people would be enough. But again, it's your goal. You can do it in a smart and nice manner so that you can show the work of others. كل الناس عارفة كل الناس اشتغلت. ده مش control. That's something also to be observed. What else in the solution? So can what have you observed in the solution that's important? 7-8 minutes, قالوا فيهم ايه؟ الايديا، الامباكت، sustainability, scalability، صح؟ وقالوا ان راحوا كينيا, right? They went there, they visited. During our visiting Kenya, صح؟ You have seen that? So these are maybe the 5 points that you need to remember for going there. Okay, thank you very much. going to be very focused to the point. And this proves that in a little time you can have little number of slides and you reach your objective. So that's very important. 7 to 8 minutes is enough. I've done this with 2 teams before and it was very tough. I have to tell you. So rehearsing for 7 to 8 minutes is much harder than rehearsing for 20 minutes, much harder than rehearsing for half an hour and stuff like this. You will never find any presentation with more than 15-20 minutes anywhere. 25 ده بيبقى حاجه لو ورا 30 ده يعني بنتكلم بقى في 5-hour meeting with CEOs. So but 7-8 minutes I understand it's quite challenging. So we need to be very focused to the point. So I will try to help you with that. I have a couple of videos that will show you what the winning team last year was and what they have done, and also a presentation from a random team. I searched yesterday for a lot of time trying to get you the winning team last year, the whole presentation. I didn't find, maybe you can find it, check yourself, but I selected one that looked good to me or fine to me, so at least you can get a feeling of how good they were. In 7-8 minutes, when you have a lot of information, it's hard, because you have to be very focused and to select what to say. So it looks like an executive summary. This is what I will try to show you here. You don't have to talk too fast, you don't have to run into a million slides. You have 7-8 minutes, you're probably going to have 7 to 10 slides and that's it. But each slide is going to be focused, and remember, you want to show certain things. There are certain items in the sheet. When they say, this is good, this is good, this is good, this applies. هقول برضه ازاي الجادجنج كوميتيز انا حضرت اشوف هناك how they evaluate you. Very simple. They do not give you feedback. Depending on the time, we might give some feedback to the teams, but no promise on that in the internal competition. Maybe after the competition, you can give feedback to the teams. If time allows and the number of teams is reasonable within the committees, we will try to do that. But basically, the objective of the competition and hult is to select the winner of each group. When you go there, you'll find different panels. Each panel has about 10 to 12 to 13 teams, and they just want to say who wins. So now had did a presentation, it was not good. So what they're going to do is no grade, out. So the answer is not to give you a score. The answer is this is not good. This is an idea is out. The idea is not innovative. The scalability is not there. Anything that does not qualify into something good, it's out. Right. They start with the first presentation. Probably they will not disqualify it because maybe it's the best one. And then the second one comes. It's much worse than the first one. Forget about it. This is how it works. I've seen it. So it's just they just want to go for the best one. So you have to grab their attention incredibly during the 7-8 minutes. You should not be doing introductions. You should not be saying that we would like to thank you for coming here and Bill Clinton for creating this great thing. It's a great opportunity. مفيش كلام. اجوا على طول على السولوشن. انتوا هتلاقوا الناس بتخش تقول ايه؟ Our solution is about كذا. This is what you have. This is the prototype. We believe that this is there. Why this idea is best? Because of X. And now let's show you how this business is going to work. This is the business model. This is how the money is going to come. This is how we're going to mobilize the people there. This is the impact. This is the final result of it. And we believe that this can be scalable using 1 to 3. And therefore, to sum up, this is our solution, and we believe this is the best solution, and this is the quantified impact of this solution. That's it. So this is what you will need to learn how to do. There is no one right structure, depending on your solution. So the basic thing is start with the solution. Start with the solution, then the business model, and the scalability, sustainability, and then the impact. That's it. This is what you need to show. It's 7-8 minutes. You need to be very sharp. لو عندنا في حاجه مش متاكدين هتتعمل ازاي حلو هم هيسالوا. If I have something I want to explain further, it's good that I have 7-8 minutes. One of the benefits of having 7-8 minutes is that I can be briefed in something very exciting, and I will be inviting them to ask me more details about the solution. Right? So this is what I would say as a start. So let me quickly give you a perspective of what I will do. My agenda for you is very simple. I will just give you a couple of presentation tips that I started in my intro session here, and then I want to tell you how to prepare for the competition, and if you win, inshallah, the team that will win, or maybe if you don't win, but we tell you that you were really good, we will encourage you to apply to it. We cannot apply to several teams, but there's no guarantee that more than one team is going to be there. So the team that will win will be first coached and supported by us. Number two, they will be guaranteed to go and they will select the place they go to. Right? After that, other teams, if they are good and they feel that they would like to participate, they are going to apply there and maybe hult will take them or not, and they will be encouraged to apply in another place or another location than the one that won. Okay? So let me go through this. There is a coaching plan for the winning team, and by the way, if another team decides to go and not accept it, we will not say like the intensity of the coaching is going to be focused on the winning team. Okay, but I encourage you to apply even if you did not win the rugby. I would love to have 4 teams. Huh? Yeah. At least a minimum of 2. And if the team that wins decides to go to London, I would like the team to go to Dubai or the vice versa. Probably these 2 are the most popular ones because of the distance and cost and so on. But after that, maybe someone wants to go to the US, someone wants to go to China. It's fine. I cannot talk about financing at all. Not outside. Hopefully the winning team will try to find something for them, but I cannot guarantee anything. Yeah. We have guaranteed sponsorships. We have to thank Alia and the team out there for their support, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to handle that. So great. This is great news that encourages the winning team, and maybe we can try to support others as well, but again, no guarantees on that. But this is just for you. So what does this mean, a coaching plan? Coaching plan, after December the 6th, until March, it's in March, right? Okay, until March, you're going to be coached. And the time that you're going to be coached is more than the time that you are developing your idea now. So therefore, the expectations that we have as a committee or as a judging panel on December 6th is slightly less than what we expect the deliverable to be in March. Having said that, we want to maximize. We are going to take a winner, so we want the winner to be perfect. But we understand that the winning team might have potential. Maybe has a great idea, the idea can be developed further, the business model looks great, but needs refining. So we will work with that team to refine it, to refine the presentation so that you win. So we are going to select the team that has the best potential to compete in the region. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. So let me start by the presentation. 7 to 8 minutes. That's hard, as I said. You have to be, as I mentioned earlier, sharp, focused. This is very, very important. مفيش وقت ان احنا نقول كلام introductory. So الناس بتخش تبقى جايبه معاها prototype sometimes. They will show this is our solution. You see, this is how the food is going to be. This is the tool that we will use in order to monitor that educational method, whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe they can show a little video that shows something that they did in a slum that worked. So a lot of teams that won were able to show something live, not a theoretical solution. So going there to the slum is a must. If you have not gone there, you are in a weakness. That's for sure. At least go once. At least check the place. At least talk to the people. You are not solving something on a far-fetched in your house or at university, right? The good news is that after I finish, we have a very important session where one of an NGO leader who's working in a slum in Egypt on education is going to give you a session, and she has gratefully accepted to support you in a way which كل الناس هجمع عليهم في نفس اللحظة. We need to be, but we have something to start with, which is very good. So understanding what's happening is great in your research at this stage. So you need to think about the idea that will really break through. Okay, so sharp and focused presentation, as I will mention in the coming slides, we'll focus on the idea, how innovative it is and how effective it is and why it solves part of the problem, not necessarily all angles of the problem. One of the mistakes we had earlier is that one team presented, unfortunately, the solution was fantastic, but it was very broad. So there were 5 ideas there. No, just focus on one single idea that tackles part of the problem, not necessarily خلي education في Islam كلهم PhDs. That's not going to be the case. So just one innovative, strong idea that will translate into a scalable and sustainable solution. So that's number 1. So we start with the idea, we move to the issue of business modeling, and the business model, the revenues coming versus the costs have to be aligned. So accordingly, this is feasible operationally, feasible financially, and therefore it's sustainable from one side, and it can be replicated in other places, so it's scalable, so the impact that you have in one little place can be repeated again in other places. This is bottom line what we need to do. أنا لو عملت presentation هعملها بالطريقة دي. Does this mean that's the only way to do the presentation? The answer is no. You are much more creative than I am in doing that. So you see what's the area of strength that you have. And what's the most important part of the presentation to start? So to start weak, you have not grabbed the attention, it's not good. So the start has to be to show something that is wow. When I show the business model, I can explain a lot of things. Some people just fly within the business model, which is not good, and others just go into extreme details that are slightly boring. Just show the important aspects. Always put yourself in the shoes of the judges اللي هم جايين من آخر الدنيا, coming from قاعدين بيسمعوا 15 or 13 or 15 presentation. حط نفسه حاجة. ده بيقول إيه؟ هات من الآخر, or I'm going to speak, or just focus on something else. مش عايزين حاجة تبقى مملة, عايزين دايما to grab the attention. How to grab the attention? I will be attentive if the idea is interesting. So I will need to know more. If you tell me at the beginning that this idea will have this KPI or this impact, that it will lead to this number of people well educated, the improvement of this, the business model is scalable and sustainable in that. If I start with a very brief executive summary that includes the impacts, I think it's going to be fantastic. Huh? So if I start like this and then move on with the business, how the idea is being implemented, explaining in more detail, and then the business model sustainability and scalability, you're going to fly with that. Okay? So I have here, and of course you must have some backup slides. So backup slides are just to explain details of the idea that you don't have to say them in 7-8 minutes. Details of some calculations in the business model that you do not have time to include at that time, right? Potential explanations of certain aspects that you did, or some details of how the operation will work within the slum. You have explained it briefly, but if they need to know more, this includes in a backup slide. Again, something focused to the point in that. I have a couple of videos that I will show you, but I would prefer to come back to them after I finish the big picture, so that you enjoy them and to finish at a positive note. The first video is going to be about the winning team last year, asked for eating insects. So let's see how there is a reportage on it. So it's going to be interesting to see what's the idea. I didn't find, unfortunately, that presentation on YouTube, so I got to another presentation. The presentation is for another team that probably was not perfect, but was okay. I just want us to watch. Presentation time is there. Let me show you an example, but bear in mind that this example is not perfect. We can criticize, but at least you can expect what was put in a presentation like this. Alright, let me show you a couple of things quickly. This is my bottom line capsule of what you should know. You must have an innovative idea, not a comprehensive solution. This is very important. One idea, one dimension, one impact, very clear, very focused. You need to have a clear business model. I'm sure Dr. Ayman talked about that last week or so. So the business model has to be clear. It's as a social enterprise. There must be some revenue generating items to where the money is coming, where the costs are. And then you need a sustainable solution, including financing, so operational sustainability and financial sustainability are important. By the way, these slides are available. So I already sent them to the ICT team, so they are going to forward to everyone. Okay? So sustainable solution, including financing and operation. So I need to make sure how the operation is done and how the money is generated. So sustainability includes sources of money from one side, revenue generation from the other side, so I'm getting in some cash and I'm spending this. So balancing the spending versus the revenues is important. Also consider that you might utilize some of the money at the beginning as seed money to support the idea, right? So maybe you can say that we will start with a certain amount of money that will push the idea forward. But at the end, the more important is not to receive the money at the beginning. If you are the winner, you take $1 million, right? So, but the more important is to make sure that if you take the $1 million after a year, the $1 million will not become zero and the project will stop, right? So you don't have to depend on $1 million, but you have to say that maybe in order to kickstart the idea, we do this and then the revenues will come and then things are going to be sustainable as we go. You need a scalable solution. So scalable solution means that this model is not only applicable in Egypt or India or China or whatever. This model can be replicated in other places. So how to do that? Well, it has to be generic. The solution should not be culture driven only. So we need to prove in a way or another that if we do this another time, it's going to be scalable. We don't have to exaggerate in explaining that, but I would say that what if I have a partner in India? I'm not in that culture, but India has an incredible amount of slums. So I can see there who is there, and I can partner with them, and I can explain to them how this is done, and this can be applied there. So maybe you can have 1 or 2 countries where this can be replicated easily, and you select which countries to prioritize to replicate after that. That might be an idea, I don't know, this is your decision, but I need to make sure that what your idea is not only applicable in one place and can be scalable. No, business partner. يعني مثلا I'm in India and I'm there. I am the student in one of the universities, or I am an NGO manager, right? So I would like to get your idea. Oh, this idea is great. The business model is perfect. I take it, copy it, and paste it, and do some little adaptation. See my point? So, for example, if you're talking about food and you utilize specific food that is related to Egypt, you can consider that in another place there is a comparable food that could be used. So we will adapt this solution to the other culture, but at the same time, the same core of the solution is not country specific. It is more of a replicable model. No, you will not get a partner. Imagine if someone decides to read your model and wants to see whether I can apply it, it can be applicable in another country without a problem. See my point? This is what you want to do. Sometimes it's so obvious, so you don't need to say it again, but sometimes you need to stress on it, and I know they look for the scalability as an option. So scalability means that this is not specific to the place, and also it can be easily replicated in other places. So the model is so clear that people will go there and go, sometimes we do something related to food, and it depends on the food supply in that country. And other countries do not have this option. So the scalability of that is going to be slightly different. But if the creativity of your idea can be replicated in other places, or at least imported from one place to another without a problem, that gives you a big edge. Okay? But if I am to spend time in the presentation, most of the time is going to be on the innovative idea, the business model, and its sustainability. Scalability is something that they need to check, or they can imagine it without you saying it, but you need to make sure that your solution is not short-sighted and very specific. Okay? Yes. For scalable? Well, I have a report on them, a media report on them, so we can check it and see. By the way, I might disagree with a lot of judges in the selection. Okay? You can.
They like for me to call their off the insects, so they don't necessarily speak the insects, they call their life, the presentation, maybe the judge's case of what the people are like and what they're going to mix. If you hear the presentation.
Okay, and you should listen to the presentation more, but I tell you that there is no way that you will agree about everything, right? But I believe that based on what my knowledge about it, it is scalable, but it doesn't have to be scalable in all countries in the world. But if you have a slum where food is unbelievably low, and people are not really, do not have a lot of options, I think it's going to be fun. Yes,
about the business model, should I put into consideration my initial investment would be $1 million or not?
No, I wouldn't consider it $1 million. Because the $1 million should have scale the solution. Right? I don't know how much to put, honestly, I wouldn't depend on $1 million. I would put the $1 million if I have a plan to implement this over a lot of countries. See my point? So I would be reluctant to depend on this and then find that this is not the right thing. No. I wouldn't do that. I might depend on a little seed money, but I wouldn't consider it.
So I will not consider the money they would give it
answer to that, tell you the truth. It's high risk to depend on it. At this stage, when you are doing it for the first part, you cannot put $1 million to produce it in Egypt. And then when you scale it, you don't have any money.
الكاميرا زي بتعمل جوه فيها عرض الواحد بيتسجل عرض جوه عرض الدور شوية
لا يعني بصي خلي بالك getting the first investment is not really an incredible deal. What matters is that the money that you generate is sustainable within the operation. So if you can generate this through your revenues, that will be great. If you know that your revenues are going to be sustainable starting year 2, but your only bottleneck is to have some financing, you can make an assumption that this is going to be taken, whether from NGO, whether other sources, whether it's from the... Absolutely. My sustainability will not include cash flow analysis, but rather the sustainability of revenue cost over time. Very good question. Very good. Thanks.
صوت عالي جدا. ربنا معاك.
Definitely. Yeah, 10 million children, that's fine. But you will not be able to tackle all of them. You will start with one slum, and the scalability will allow you to move forward to more. So maybe 10 million will come after you tackle that. No, don't talk about the 10 million. The scalability would say that the plan is to scale this idea. It's possible to scale it because it's not really very specific. And we believe that the next plan would be to take it from Egypt, spread it in a couple of other places in Egypt, and then go into India, go into whatever. And this is, you researched them very briefly and said that this would be the plan. And accordingly, within the 5 years, we'll be able to reach 2 million out of the 10 million. No, the target market of the whole project is something, and what you are going to deliver is something else. So you want to prove that even if a small percentage of the target market is affected by your current plan, but the scalability will allow you to reach that in 20 years, in 10 years, in 30 years, whatever it is. But you can say that within the next few years, you'll be able to reach 10% of the slums and reach about 1 million out of the 10, something like this. See? Very good. What I said about the focus of the target of the project is the solution that you come up with, the innovative idea, does not have to solve every single issue in education in all the slums. See my point? So you'll find that each solution that was presented in the previous years, they tackle a specific issue. That could be 20%, 10%, 50%, whatever it is, but it doesn't have to be comprehensive across the board. Okay? Because this is something that we made a mistake of in the first year, and I think we need to learn from that mistake. Okay? Question? All right, so as I said, scalability is important. Now, the prototype. I'm not sure that you'll be able to have a prototype by the December 6th presentation, but if you can, that would be great. If you have video of the place, that would be great. If you have to show the place there, that would be great. في طريقة أنا ما بحبش الحاجات الكليشيه والناس عارفين أنا يعني you should not do things that exactly are the same، بس في طريقة شفتها الناس كتير قوي بتبريزنت بيها. بيبتدوا يقولوا إيه؟ إحنا كنا مسمينها سعدية. يقولوا إيه؟ يلا سعدية جت أهي، سعدية دي عندها عيلة، عندها جوزها هو ده كذا يعني you give life into the presentation by showing a person that represents the target market in that place. Of course, if this person is a picture from the internet, it's much worse than if this person is someone real. And if this someone has been interviewed and videotaped, and you see this person talking, and then the translation is written down there, you can show something. This could be a very nice video to show the problem and to show how it's done. And then if you have done any action that would lead to that is part of your solution in reality, and it was, and you have seen some impact of on the community, you are proving with some evidence that this solution has an impact. And has the potential to become bigger, right? So if you show something like this within the presentation, a couple of minutes of videos, or 1 to 2 videos that each show something specific, that helps a lot. It gives life to your place. Yes, please.
Could be a prototype, another example of an NGO that have a part of our solution. For example, I have a dual solution using machinery. There's another idea to implement in Egypt using this machine.
Definitely. Benchmarking and showing something different that was there, and you are utilizing this that has never been thought of in such places, and applying them in this place is very smart. يعني عايز اقول لكم ان في ناس استخدمت سولوشنز كنت انا شايفها مضحكه بس غير الانسكت يعني. في ناس كانت بتعمل حاجات ايه موبايل ابلكيشن والناس ماشيه بيها فنعرف لهم يعني موبايل ابلكيشن ايه بس الناس دي مش لاقيه تك بس لا عجبت الناس الموبايل ابلكيشن فكره ظريفه. So how are you going to do that? Maybe you need financing for it. But how are you going to control it ونجيب خطوط ونبعت للناس ونعمل مثلا network ونعمل كذا. Sometimes utilizing a technology that is used at a high-end level and applying it smartly so that it has the impact while it's sustainable and scalable model. Despite that, that would be good. So yes, utilizing something before is more of a benchmark. It's a justification that it works. But prototyping here, I meant more of, this is a proof, but it's not a prototype. Prototyping here means that you went to the place, you have your solution, you tried it, and then you have seen some impact, very minimal as a sample, but it showed that the result could happen. So it gives more confidence that what you did is good, and you want beyond just a solution from your head, but rather you tried it, and it seems that the sample that you had was receptive to it in a good way. Okay, this is very interesting. And again, by December 6th, if you have not done that, but you have done something a little bit live, it's an advantage to you. So all what I'm telling you here is the advantages that have to be there in order for a team to win. I don't think that any team will win with a regular idea. The idea has to be special. مش لازم تبقى غريبة. بس special معناها special ممكن تبقى simple بس الidea نفسها and how the idea can impact the problem is creative. It's something that would not come to anybody moving on. Right? Number 2, if the business model is not sustainable and scalable, it's out. It means that you have to have this as a base for you. But if everybody is doing nice ideas, the business model is solid, so we are smart. Oh, this idea will have an impact, and this business model will work. So we are confident. I need to check whether it will work or not in reality. So I need some live in the presentation. So showing the people and showing some trial of this activity on the people, that would be wonderful. في ناس كانوا عاملين idea crowdfunding, and they built a website for crowdfunding for that particular cause in a specific slum in their country, and one of their proofs was that this is our website and this is the money that we collected so far. Okay? This is how good it can be at a point in time. Maybe they didn't win, but this is a proof that somebody took another step. If you stop at just a nice solution, you're not going to be, you're going to have the edge to win over others. Some people start very early, and I'm very happy this year because you are starting early. And if you move to December with an idea that looks good, with some life in the slum itself, I think that you'll have great potential to refine it. Because our role is not to help you with the idea, our role is to evaluate the idea, make sure that the business model works well. So we can help with business modeling, we can help with sustainability, that would be coached. But I cannot come up with an idea. I don't think that I have your creativity, and you are the one who goes into the place. So the solution is usually coming from the ground. It's not coming from a meeting in the library.